Hey there, you, me, and DC fans, and welcome if you're new. I am the stepson of Krypton, and today I am coming to you with Absolute Green Lantern issue number 5. Things are really starting to pick up in this. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time. Let's get on into the issue. Okay, guys. So the issue opens up to similar to what we've seen before. We see the black page, we've got the little ring, except this time we see
Todd Rice, be with fear. Judgment is not in progress.
now Abin Sur is telling Todd Rice to be with fear, okay? That he is unknown within the spectrum of light. Be with fear, be with fear. And as he keeps saying this, and he keeps saying this, it kind of cuts to we hear he's being saved from the rubble by Hector Hammond's team. If you remember in the past, that they were going that after the big huge lantern had smashed the small town, and Hector is there looking really really excited. He wants to know exactly what happened. So Todd explains that the sky fell. He only survived because he was at the edge of the dome. If you remember from the very beginning, there was this big dome over the entire town, and then obviously the giant green lantern that was hovering above them. And he believed that Hal made it out. He lived because he could hear Hal, and he didn't know what happened next. He could only hear what happened. We see how he's confronted Abin Sur with that gun, and Abin Sur, obviously, he's had his powers taken. Joe has absorbed them somehow or another, and he tells Hal, she has power without understanding, and that she's an anomaly and she will be hunted. And he tells him,
Be with fear, Hal Jordan.
and just then, boom, Hal unloads the entire clip on Abin Sur, saying it was for John, for all of them, and for his town, and what he believed happened to Joe. And in his final act, we see Abin Sur reaches up and he touches the gun that's in Hal's hand, and he just says,
Judgment, Hal Jordan. The Black Hair.
and Abin Sur, it looks like his body is melting away into a black goo. So as Abin Sur kind of continues to melt away into this black gooey mess, he tells Hal Jordan, fear the Black Hand and fear the Black Star. Now, for those of you who don't know, Black Hand is the first of the Black Lantern Corps. Originally in the comics, it was William Hand, was a genius obsessed with death. He kind of offs himself, and then he's reanimated as the first Black Lantern, the Black Hand. And the Black Hands are basically, or Black Hand and the Black Lantern Corps, they're heralds of Necron, right? The embodiment of death itself. So the Black Lantern rings, they get their power from draining the life force of those around them. Little backstory. Todd, having given all of the information he has to Hector, is now being shipped off to a lab somewhere where they might find some other use for him, as Hector says. But Hector is still curious about Hal and Joe. We kind of cut back and we see Hal and Joe. They're continuing to battle. As they're kind of filling each other in and us in on exactly what happened. Hal tells Joe that he killed Abin Sur for what he had done to the town and what he thought he had done to her. They continue to fight back and forth about what happened, and they're trading blow for blow. Joe takes off into the air and she says, "The Green Lantern happened." So Joe too was trying to escape from the collapse of the giant lantern hovering over the town, and after ending up in the desert, she didn't know how she had even gotten there. She felt this pull towards something. She describes it kind of like on a compass, the needle on the compass. It's always trying to point toward north. She felt this pull towards something. It was towards Hal, or was it the Black Hand? And we see Hal losing control to Black Hand. He's being taken over, and it's getting angrier and angrier. And you wouldn't like him when he gets angry. Oh, sorry, that's another green guy. We won't talk about that guy. So we see how Black Hand is consuming him, and we hear, and even Joe asks, "Who's talking?" It's kind of like on Iron Man. He's like, "Who's speaking?"
Who's speaking?
And it's letting us know that Black Hand is talking, and he's getting angry, demanding that she take off the ring. Now, interestingly enough, at this point, we have not seen her wearing a Green Lantern ring. We've not even seen Abin Sur with a Green Lantern power ring yet. So based off this, we gotta kind of assume that there is one. We just haven't seen it yet. However, she is taken back after she hears the take off the ring. We cut back in time and she's being told to take off the ring again, but not by Hal or Black Hand. This is at the moment where her relationship was ending, and she's reminded that she swore an oath in brightest day, in blackest night. Remember? Now, you all should remember that. Obviously, that's the beginning of the Green Lantern oath as well. It was nice that they kind of threw that in there. But then we immediately cut back. The battle's continuing. I mean, they're blow for blow going at each other. Giggity. And, again, Hal is ever more being taken over by Black Hand. And then we kind of go back to Hector, and we see his ground crews, and they're trying to penetrate the hull of the Green Lantern that lay across the one small town. And he's being told that, I mean, it's impenetrable. They have nothing that can get through. They can't get scans. They can't do anything. And Hector's kind of had it. He's like, enough bad news. But then one of his team kind of runs over and says, "Hey, they're tracking activity to the southwest, and it's heading their way." So a now excited Hector, he looks and he sees Hal and Joe, or he sees the green beam and this black goo. As he kind of like looks at it, fighting each other. They're heading his way, and he kind of gets excited because he's just like, "Hey, the key to this puzzle box they're trying to figure out, this Green Lantern, is heading their way." And Joe's trying her best to escape. We see her flying away, but then Black Hand is, as the hand goes out, we see the goo coming out, trying to actually get a hold of her. And we do kind of see that, she's got her fist balled up, and she's firing a beam just like they would from the normal Green Lantern ring. Still don't see the ring yet, but it could be a power ring. Then suddenly, the large lantern that had laid across the town, in all that rubble, kind of takes off and it heads up towards the sky. And excited Hector actually kind of corrects himself. He's like, "She's not the key to the puzzle box. She's the key to the ignition." And we see Joe and just getting this overwhelming surge of green energy. Then the lantern's charging. We see Joe. She engulfed in green energy and green power and green light. She grabs Black Hand and she's doing a slam, smashing him into the ground. And then all of a sudden, even Black Hand is surrounded by this green light. And we get the far out shot that the lantern is charging up, and we see a beam of light come out from the Green Lantern. It hits Joe, it's powering her up, and then we hear
So you're the moment. Hal Jordan.
then we see Hal and Joe in kind of the black hole type with the ring, kind of like we see at the beginning of each of the comics, and we see a man in yellow telling them both, "Be without fear." Now, initially, when I look at this, I thought John Stewart. Obviously, we know what had happened to him. He kind of disappeared. However, a few things kind of made me question that, because I kind of go back and I look at the other issues, and the facial hair has changed, right? The mustache, he's still got the kind of the goatee, but the mustache has changed. And then his actual hair, he was shaven like buzzed in the comic. Now, again, we don't know necessarily the passage of time. He may be experiencing time differently, but it just, some things seemed off, but I believe it is John, right? It's John Stewart. Another thing, most people that I've seen about this comic so far believe that he's yellow, so he is a yellow lantern, which could be. And the yellow lantern cord may not be based on fear in this absolute universe, but it could be. But then I kind of think about back to his fixation on the gold and how it was going to help them stop Abin Sur, and that maybe he might be a gold lantern. That's for a whole nother issue, but that's kind of where it got my thinking on it. And guys, that kind of ends the issue right there. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think he is going to be the gold lantern? Do you think he's a yellow lantern? And it's just not, they're not all about, because he's telling them to be without fear. Well, if their powers coming from fear, like the normal yellow lanterns, then that would be a little weird. Um, so let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know how you're feeling about the Green Lantern series as well. If you want to leave down in the comments, what is your favorite series in the absolute universe thus far? And if you have made it with me this far, you might as well go ahead and give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, have the bell notifications clicked so you will get alerted every time we drop another of the videos in the absolute series, as well as everything we're doing in with the new Superman movie releasing and how it's faring in theaters. you will get notified when those release, guys. And to keep this video as short as possible, that is going to do it for us on this episode of You, Me, and DC. Until next time, guys, we'll see you then.